I have a question from a longtime student. Scott asks, when I've been practicing, if I'm looking at the tab, my fingers will miss the correct string or fret. If I'm looking at the neck, I lose the tempo. If I haven't memorized what to play and my fingers can't hit the right notes, is there a trick to overcome this? Or is it just a matter of memorizing the tune and muscle memory of my left hand on the neck to play without looking? So this hand is maybe not hitting the right, finding the right string or fret. Okay, and I did see this in another student. Was it Wednesday? She was having a terrible time with both hands getting the right string and the right fret, even with the picking hand. It was like pretty like she went backwards pretty far. So that's a serious question, serious thing we want to fix. So I'm going to see, maybe other people can chime in with comments or suggestions. For me, I'll see what I come up with, but I always play, let's see, let me tell you about what my partner, Trevor, who is blind. He can see a teeny tiny bit out of his right eye. He's right-handed. When he plays, and he'll play like an A flat, E flat, G flat, and I watch him, and he'll go like this. He'll go, let's say if he needs to hit an F minor on the 10th fret, he'll go like, oh, I just did it without looking. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only he does it really fast. Ooh, I was one too high. So I watch him just go up, 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 up. Say it's E flat. Okay, I did that with my eyes closed. I did find it. Counting up frets is what a blind guy does. And he does play bass in Surf Zombie, so he's got to play some, like I got one song that goes, let's see. And he's got to go. He's got to go. Slide into that A without looking. A flat, A. So out of 10, I went to 13 on 1, but I got 9 out of 10. So it's basically, I think it's like target practice with your fretting hand as far as finding the right fret is one answer from watching a blind guy. Yeah, he used to, with no vision in his left eye, he used to always be, his head would be way over here so he could see with his right eye. So his head is really bent over. But, so what I do when I play, a lot of gigs, I'm kind of like, if I look at the audience, I get distracted. So I'll kind of like close my eyes a little bit or blur them and look down just enough to see my hands. So I sort of partially shut my eyes and I have like sunglasses. I'm just kind of trying to block out things visually, but I want to glance down and at least get the right fret. So I do look, or I will close my eyes. I just want to really block out. It's not like it's bad to look at the people, but it just distracts me and it makes me think other things than what I want to play. I want to find the chords. So let's say I want to play an A. I'm just looking enough to find that 5th fret. Okay. I don't know if that's helpful, but as far as lining up your fretting hand with your picking hand, What my advice is, run major scales incessantly and to infinity, perpetually. I love those words. This little student last night, we were practicing drawing the 8. We were just kind of having some fun. I drew an 8, and he goes, "Let me show you how I make 8s." He kind of made the loop thing. Well, I drew his 2 circles, and I drew another circle, and I drew a snowman. But we were just getting silly. But anyway, he says, they're like the old loop-de-loop, and then he goes, now if you turn it the other way, it becomes a symbol for infinity. I said, infinity, that's as many times as I want you to practice these notes. And he's kind of, but anyway, infinity, as far as scales, let me just play G major with my eyes closed. See how I found my place? G, G. Make sure, what if I went, no, no, yeah. See how I check that in? G string, G note, then I'll play. Not many of my students drill on their scales like they're supposed to. I give out a lot of scales, and some do, but not enough. I think we would call that a position. I think that means I'm going to hold that space. I'm not going to shift. So if you're shifting away, you just destroyed everything. So there's a point where you're going to shift positions, but that has to be deliberate, a deliberate decision. So G major. How about A major? Let's see if I can find it. See how I did it? A, A, A. So if you've put off practicing your scales, that is hurting you, I believe. If you really want to play accurately, play the whole neck, and really dig in and play the guitar. How about, now I'll do some position shifts. How about I'll do a blues scale, like G blues. That slide, notice I wasn't looking. There's some position shifts going on there, which oops. I'm certainly not infallible. Found another one. I think you just sort of ease into those like octaves and slide. That's a G flat. No good. I want G. Once I get that G, see how I slid to it? All G blues without looking at the neck. So somehow I realize I'm kind of rambling here, but the scale is going to be like the framework you build your whole technique on. You could go back to C major. hook the chord in there. How about the E blues scale on one string? Not looking. Hook it into the chord. Yeah, I stumbled, but by not looking. Okay, got another example. I think it was 2 Halloweens ago, I made this enormous mask out of paper mache. There was this huge, like an alien skull head. It was really ugly. I put it on, I could not see anything. And I did a couple of gigs wearing it. And it was kind of a disaster because, again, G sharp, E flat. We play in some weird keys. And so I could kind of see, I don't know, I can't remember where I made a hole. I got rid of the mask. I did have some eye holes, but basically it was like you couldn't see with it at all. And we played a Halloween gig in my front yard where we played Halloween songs out. I was stumbling around in the grass with a fog machine going and, chasing kids around playing the guitar and just goofing off. And wearing that mask, stumbling around like an idiot. And it was great. But we do this. Oops, there's E. I want E flat. That's pretty tricky, man. That's a weird melody. And it's just a shape. I gotta know. That's a very weird sequence. So I knew that was coming up. I had to sit and play that hundreds of times before I could play it well. Now, not only that, but it goes up an octave, like. So with my eyes closed, I can visualize that shape, that sequence of notes. And again, a position. Notice how I keep my pointer in place. Then it changes. Pretty tricky. So, yeah, I think it boils down to spending time doing those stupid major scales, blues scales, minor pentatonic scales, major pentatonic scales, finding your root note, and then once you get a position, your hand sort of stays there, like if I had to play in a G flat. See how I found it? I'm going to keep coming back to that G flat. So I remember that. And it is like muscle memory, insane repetition. Most people don't do that level, insane, mega repetition. And I get it. You got other things to do. But if you can sweep all that garbage, everything in life is crazy. There's a lot of crazy people out there. When you can shut them out and get with your guitar, they can't get you. You're blocking the insanity of the world out. This makes sense. You and your guitar. Notes, fingering, phrases, riffs, patterns, scales. That's a safe place. That's a good place to be. Nobody can hurt you when you're practicing your scales. So I take refuge in my scales. I escape the maniacs, the cruel people, the crazy people, the people that want to waste your time. And that pays off for me. Then I've been able to build a life in music. I hide within the music, and I built my world around music. And that is a beautiful thing. I'm extremely fortunate that I was able to do that without going insane. I'm just fine. So, I hope you can get something out of this ramble that is helpful. So thanks for asking, Scott. That's a cool question, man. Thank you.